Look at your hands, not as ornaments but as messages you've been carrying since birth. If a crescent moon forms when you press your palms together, subtle arc beneath the fingers, like a quiet smile, this isn't cosmetic. It's a divine signature coming online now, as we move through the final stretch of 2025. You've felt the tremor already. Dreams that won't dissolve at sunrise. Timings too precise to be random. A breath of peace in rooms that once drained you. The reason is simple. The symbol is a switch. When heaven intends to advance your assignment, it activates what it has marked. And the activation window is this year before it ends. From now until year end, 6 appointments begin clustering in your path. Not vague, good vibes, but concrete thresholds that change how you see, build, love, and serve.
First comes sharpened sight. Synchronicities that stop entertaining and start directing.
Then a purpose door opens. Work you once carried from survival becomes assignment with support. A covenant signal rises. Recognition of your counterpart in a warrior pair, a man and a woman formed apart, entrusted together. After that, a protection mantle, clean boundaries, provision windows, resources and allies at the exact hour, and finally a commissioning moment, a public step that multiplies your impact beyond yourself. The mark is not hype, it's a timeline. If you carry the crescent, you are not being invited into superstition, you're being summoned into alignment. Alignment is the end of internal argument. It is the moment your inner agreements and outer actions choose the same direction and refuse to be negotiated by noise. And if your assignment includes a warrior couple, alignment is how two become one authority without losing two distinct voices. He brings presence that steadies, she brings perception that scouts, or the inverse. Either way, you are not codependent. You are complementary, 2 wings, 1 flight. Together you host peace in your home like an altar, contend in prayer without wounding each other, and turn private revelation into public rescue. That's why the timing intensifies now, not to tease your heart, but to train it. Here's what we'll do in this series. First, we'll show you how to identify the crescent and why it's surfacing this semester. Then we'll decode what sits beneath the symbol. Clean intuition, purpose alignment, and the choreography of a man and woman battle pair. After that, we'll map the 6 late 2025 arrivals and how to recognize them without panic or superstition. Finally, you'll receive an alignment protocol, simple, repeatable rhythms that let those 6 appointments land and last. If your chest just settled, if something in you said, "This is me and this is the hour," take 2 clear steps right now so we walk this timing together. Subscribe now. Not for numbers, for navigation. Each chapter will meet you exactly where your next decision lives. Comment 111. For us, 111 means divine alignment and a new beginning. Write it as a simple, courageous agreement. I choose peace over panic, while heaven finishes what it started in 2025. You are not late. You are being lined up. The crescent in your palm is not decoration, it's direction. Let's move. Begin with a quiet minute and your own hands. Bring your palms together as if in prayer, fingers straight, base of the fingers gently touching. Breathe once, soften your gaze, and look where the horizontal lines beneath the fingers meet across both hands. If a soft arc forms, a broken smile, a near-complete curve, or 2 lines bending toward each other into a half-moon, you are looking at more than anatomy. You're reading a seal your spirit has been registering for years. Some see a crisp, continuous crescent. Others see an outline that suggests the curve with a slight gap. Don't demand perfection. This sign tends to reveal itself the way truth does, with enough clarity to guide you, enough humility to keep you attentive. Why does this matter now, at the tail end of 2025? Because symbols are clocks as much as they are signatures. The crescent is a timing mark. It tends to wake up when heaven is about to advance what it has already marked. You've likely felt the warm-up, dreams that refuse to behave like fiction, repeating names that land exactly when you pray for direction, a quiet peace that descends right where anxiety used to run the room. That shift isn't random, it's activation. The year's final months compress decisions, and the crescent invites you to move from collecting omens to stewarding instructions. What the mark actually signals is sensitivity, not fragility, but calibrated awareness. Think of it as a bridge between the seen and the subtle, one end anchored in calendars and commitments, the other in the realm where timing is choreographed, not guessed. Under this seal, intuition stops acting like a hunch and starts behaving like a witness. The witness doesn't shout. It settles. You'll feel it in your body. When guidance is true, breath deepens, jaw softens, mind stops sprinting for guarantees. When it isn't, the shoulders climb and urgency tries to buy your yes at a discount. The crescent trains you to honor that inner barometer so outer choices stop arguing with inner knowing. There is also a relational layer rising this semester for many who carry the sign. The sense that your assignment isn't solitary. The crescent often appears in lives being prepared for covenant with purpose. What we're calling a warrior pair, a man and a woman formed apart, entrusted together. Not codependence. Complementarity. One brings presence that calms the atmosphere, the other perception that scouts ahead, or the inverse. Either way, the mark doesn't promise romance for entertainment. It points to partnership for mission. If that recognition already tugs at you, do not sprint or hide. Attune. The right thing will stretch you without taxing your oxygen. The wrong thing will flatter you and quietly invoice your peace. How to work with the sign today so the rest of 2025 can land cleanly. Observe without dramatizing. Each morning, note any dream residue or repeating names, then ask for one precise, faithful step. Sight is wasted when it replaces action. It flowers when it informs it. Guard your atmosphere. Reduce noise so intuition isn't drowned. Honor sleep, simple food, and honest work. Clarity loves low static. Let peace pace you. If a choice demands you outrun your discernment, it's not time. If peace can keep breathing while you move, proceed. Protect the altar. Keep prayer warm and unperformed. Bless more than you bargain. The crescent sharpens when the altar is alive. If you didn't see the crescent today, don't disqualify yourself. Some seals sit deeper in spirit than skin and reveal themselves by fruit, cleaner choices, steadier peace, truer words, before they ever appear in form. But if the arc did appear, let it answer the ache without inflating the ego. You are not better. You are assigned. And assignment is why the timing intensifies now. 6 arrivals are queuing between now and year-end. In the next topic, we'll look beneath the symbol, alignment, intuition, and how heaven pairs a man and a woman for one mission, so you can recognize those arrivals without superstition or panic.
A symbol only matters if it changes how you move. The crescent in your palm is not a medal to admire, it is a metronome to follow. Its first demand is alignment, the end of inner argument. Alignment is when what you know quietly in your spirit and what you do visibly with your time. Stop negotiating and start walking together. It doesn't make life louder, it makes it truer. Decisions that once required external permission begin to receive internal clearance. You feel it as a click into gear. The yes that doesn't need a speech, the no that doesn't need a villain. You are not becoming fearless. You are becoming faithful to what you already hear. Under this seal, intuition grows up from a hunch into a witness. The witness doesn't beg for attention. It settles you. It sits low in the body like steady breath. When the path is right, your jaw loosens, your eyes soften, your mind stops sprinting for guarantees. When it isn't, your shoulders climb and urgency tries to purchase your consent with panic. The crescent trains you to take your peace seriously. Peace is not passivity, it's permission. If peace cannot breathe in the choice, that choice does not honor the assignment you carry. Beneath the mark, there is also appointment timing braided with purpose. Opportunities can be manufactured, appointments cannot. An appointment is when inner readiness meets outer opening without requiring theater. You will recognize it by the way it fits, not effortless, but breathable. It asks for courage, not contortion. It stretches capacity while protecting dignity. This is especially important now because as 2025 closes, the crescent often signals a choreography that involves more than one set of hands. For many who bear this sign, the assignment is paired a warrior couple, a man and a woman formed apart and entrusted together, not codependence, complementarity. two distinct strengths, one shared authority. Picture a bow and its string. The arc holds form, the string holds tension. Together, they send purpose forward. Sometimes he carries presence that steadies rooms while she carries perception that scouts ahead. Sometimes the inverse is true. Either way, the pairing is not for spectacle. It is for service home as altar, work as witness, love as warfare that heals rooms, stories, and generations. You will know you are nearing this counterpart by 3 quiet tells. First, your intuition rests around them. You don't have to interrogate yourself to stay present. Second, your purpose enlarges, not shrinks. Together, you become more useful, not more distracted. Third, rhythm appears. Communication may ebb and flow, but consistency develops like a heartbeat you both can trust. Counterfeits do the opposite. They flatter loneliness, invoice your peace, and require you to dim what the crescent has been sharpening. Alignment with a warrior counterpart begins with alignment within yourself. You cannot become one authority with another person while remaining divided inside. That's why this season asks for the ordinary fidelities that look unimpressive and last forever. Mornings quiet enough for truths to be heard, work done with clean hands, money handled like mission, not meadow, rest guarded like covenant, boundaries kept kind and firm. These are not chores, they are channels. When you keep them, you carry a climate others can breathe in, and the right person will recognize oxygen when they feel it. Do not rush the choreography. The crescent is not a green light for haste. It is a guide for holy pacing. Let the witness in you establish tempo. If something demands you outrun your discernment, it's not time. If something honors your boundaries and your breath at once, step forward with a soft voice and a firm spine. Heaven is not testing how fast you can sprint. Heaven is training how well you can sustain. 1. Sight amplified instruction, not entertainment. The first shift is in how you see. Dreams that once felt like pretty noise begin carrying usable data, names, places, phrases that land again in daylight. Synchronicity stop performing and start directing. A scripture you wake with repeats in conversation. A song answers a question you never asked aloud. A date keeps returning until you finally schedule the hard but right meeting. Your body will tell you when it's true. Breath drops lower, shoulders soften, the mind stops begging for guarantees. Steward this by moving one small step per signal. Write it, pray it, act it. Sight that does not become obedience turns into spiritual clutter. Sight that becomes a faithful step turns into momentum. Purpose door, the hinge you've been circling clicks. Work you carried from survival starts wearing assignment. A dormant project finds backers. An idea you shelved reappears with resources you didn't have last year. A role shifts so your gifts aren't accessories but engines. This door won't flatter ego. It will test integrity. Handle money as mission, not medal. Keep deadlines you promise. Let excellence be quiet and consistent. If a shortcut asks you to spend peace like loose change, it's not your door. The right opening will stretch you without shrinking your oxygen. Ask for courage without demanding a costume, and tether success to service so that impact outlives applause. Covenant signal recognition without the rush. Somewhere in ordinary hours, the atmosphere around one person changes. It won't be fireworks, it'll be rest. Conversation breathes instead of performing. Eyes settle instead of scanning. Purpose feels larger, not louder. This is the early cue of the warrior. Pair a man and a woman formed apart, now trusted to be forged together. Discern it by fruit, not fantasy. Humility over hype, curiosity over charm, consistency over intensity. You will not be asked to dim what the crescent has sharpened or trade boundaries for proximity. Instead, rhythm appears messages that keep pace, presence that keeps its word, repair that replaces performance when conflict knocks. If a nearly right option flatters loneliness and invoices your peace, bless it and step back. The authentic will honor your altar, guard your rest, and meet you at the velocity of truth. Hold these 3 appointments loosely enough for God to lead and firmly enough to keep you from drifting. As they root, the next set gathers protection mantle, provision windows, and a clear commissioning moment, not to dazzle you, but to stabilize the life you're building as 2025 closes. Protection mental clean perimeter, clear center. As the year narrows, heaven tightens your circles, not as punishment, but as preservation. People who loved you in the earlier chapter may not have clearance for this one, and that's not a scandal, it's sequencing. You will feel a quiet insistence to simplify your inputs, prune old obligations, and remove subtle drains that cost more peace than they produce fruit. Boundaries stop feeling like fences and start functioning like doors on hinges. Open when grace says come, closed when peace says enough. Expect a few tests here requests that arrive coded in urgency, invitations that flatter your visibility but dilute your voice, conversations that turn your discernment into debate. Bless without bargaining. Your no doesn't need a villain, it needs clarity. For those walking as a warrior pair, this mantle extends to a shared perimeter. You guard each other's rest, defend each other's dignity in private and public, and refuse to weaponize vulnerability. The result is atmosphere home as altar, not battleground. Provision windows the right help at the right hour. Provision in this stretch is surprisingly practical. It looks like a mentor answering the very email you almost didn't send, a partner offering terms that honor your time and values, equipment discounted the week you need it, a room you couldn't afford opening because someone kept a seat for you. None of it is random, all of it is right-sized. You'll know it's God because the resource fits the assignment instead of inflating your ego. The test here is stewardship. Handle money as mission, not metal. Sign only what your piece can carry. Keep receipts on your integrity. Deliver when you promise. Repent when you miss. Bless what you borrow. Return what you don't need. If a gift requires you to mute conviction, it's a leash, not provision. For a warrior couple, watch how aligned resources multiply. Once relationships open doors for the other's calling, and the increase serves both assignments without creating a hierarchy. Commissioning moments step out, not up. Before the year folds, a public step will ask for your presence, not your performance. It may be a launch, small and exact, a platform invite, a first client contract under your real name, a community role you once felt underqualified to carry, or a simple act of obedience people actually witness. Commissioning is not a confetti cannon. It is heaven saying, we trust you with weight. You will recognize it because humility goes with you and consistency follows you. Your words will be fewer and truer. Your pace will be calmer and firmer. Your preparation will finally have something to hold. If you are commissioned as a pair, your voices won't blur. They will braid distinct tones, one message, no competition. The metric is fruit. People leave stronger, not starstruck. Rooms feel safer, not smaller. You finish tired in body, but full in spirit. Move through these last 3 appointments with a soft voice and a firm spine. Protect what protects you. Receive what is sized for your season. Say yes to the step that matches your formation, even if no one claps yet. When you do, December won't feel like a finish line. It will feel like a threshold, and you will cross it whole. Wimbles are clocks, protocols are the gears that keep time. The crescent in your palm is a timing mark, but it is the cadence of your days that determines whether the 6 appointments arrive as visitors or take root as residents. Alignment is not a mood. It is a rhythm you choose while the year narrows. Begin with your mornings and protect them like a doorway. Rise slowly enough to hear before you speak, to receive before you react, to let truth take the first word. Read what reads you back. Pray until your breath drops low. Sit long enough for the night's residue dream fragments, names, phrases to become a single honest instruction you can carry into the next hour. Do not try to conquer the year before breakfast. Ask only, what is the next faithful step? And then take it without spectacle. Momentum is built by small obediences stacked so quietly they sound like peace. Guard your atmosphere as if clarity were oxygen, because it is. Simplify inputs that keep your nervous system sprinting, and let your home learn the tone of refuge. Order and warmth are not luxuries. They are signals to your body that you are safe enough to discern. When the world gets loud, you will be tempted to outsource certainty to more noise. Resist, Silence will feel costly at first, and then it will begin to pay you back in decisions that don't need to be renegotiated every afternoon. Let work be clean and specific. Finish what you start. Leave room in your schedule for rest that is protected like covenant, instead of treated like a reward you haven't earned yet. Exhaustion distorts guidance and makes counterfeits look like shortcuts. Rest clears the glass. Integrity with money, time, and words anchors the doors that are opening now. Handle resources as mission, not metal. Spend within truth, give within wisdom, save without fear, and receive without debt to your conscience. Keep promises like you keep breath quietly, constantly, without theatrics. When you miss, repent quickly and repair fully, so your name can carry weight that your brand will never manage. Speak fewer words that cut straighter, let yes and no be clean so your future does not have to repay what your mouth borrowed. This is how provision recognizes you when it arrives. It finds a life already ordered to steward, not a stage hungry to be seen. For those being prepared as a warrior, pair a man and a woman entrusted together, practice unity the way musicians practice scales, not the way actors rehearse lines. Cover one another in prayer without trying to manage each other's outcomes. Ask questions that make the heart feel safe enough to tell the truth, then honor the truth even when it rearranges plans. Learn the difference between conflict and combat. Conflict is a lab for repair. Combat is theater for winning. Choose repair. Decide in advance that dignity will not be collateral damage. Keep a shared rhythm that prevents burnout. Honest check-ins, simple meals, sleep that is defended, screens that leave the room so your presence can stay. Celebrate without performance and correct without humiliation. If leadership is needed, let it be service. If strength is needed, let it be gentle. Two soft hearts with firm spines can carry more weight than any dominance ever will. Discernment must remain your tempo setter as the year edges toward its threshold. When urgency pounds the door, ask your peace for permission. If your peace cannot breathe, you owe no explanation for a pause. If peace stays present while you step forward, do so without apology and without speed that flatters fear. You will meet nearly right options dressed in borrowed language. They will flatter loneliness and quietly invoice your oxygen. Bless them and step back. The authentic will ask for courage but will not demand contortion. It will respect the guardrails that kept your oil from leaking and will meet you at the pace of truth. Finally, keep the altar warm. Intercede more than you interpret. Bless what you love without clutching it. When ache rises, and it will, because love and purpose stretch the same muscle, treat it like a bell, not a leash. Lift the name, release the outcome, return to your assignment. Let gratitude be your default language so your heart does not forget how much has already changed in silence. If you walk these protocols with a soft voice and a firm spine, December will not have to prove anything to you. The 6 appointments will have space to land and legs to last. Your life will read like a steady yes, your home like an altar, your work like a witness, and your love, whether solitary or paired, like a climate where others remember how to breathe. This is alignment in practice, not a performance to keep up, but the presence you carry day after day until the year opens its final door and you step through whole. Hold your hands one more time. Not to chase a feeling, but to remember a fact. You are marked not for spectacle, but for stewardship. The crescent was never a prize. It was a permission slip to move at the speed of peace, while this year narrows to its threshold. You have learned the grammar of this seal. Sight that becomes a step, doors that open to service rather than ego, a covenant signal that feels like rest before romance, a protection mantle that simplifies your circles, provision that fits your mission, and the commissioning that asks for presence, not performance. None of these arrivals demand noise. All of them require alignment. The inner yes and the outer life finally walk in the same direction. If your path includes a warrior pair, a man and a woman entrusted together, let love remain your cleanest warfare. Cover one another without controlling, correct without humiliating, refuse to weaponize vulnerability, and keep home as altar, not arena. You are not two halves seeking completion. You are two whole hearts building a climate others can breathe in. Distinct voices, one authority, two wings, one flight. As the last pages of 2025 turn, carry 3 anchors. Peace is your first proof. If your peace can't breathe, the timing is wrong, no matter how dazzling the offer. Fruit is your measure. Humility, clarity, consistency, repair, these are the signatures of the real. Presence is your power. Show up steady. Keep your word. Let gratitude be the tone under everything. Do not rush the hour. Do not starve the altar. Bless what you love without clutching it. Guard the rhythms that guard you. Quiet mornings, honest work, protected rest, clean boundaries. When ache visits, treat it like a bell. Lift the name, release the outcome, return to your assignment. If a nearly right option flatters loneliness but invoices your oxygen, step back with a soft voice and a firm spine. The genuine will honor your guardrails and meet you at the pace of truth. You are not waiting for December to make you real. You are walking real now, and December will simply agree. Cross the threshold with your center intact, present, steady, and whole. Whether you move alone or braided with your counterpart, your life will speak what the crescent has whispered from the start. You were not chosen to collect omens. You were chosen to carry order, to heal rooms, steady futures, and turn private revelation into public rescue. Seal the sign. Walk the year.